While the Razer Blade 14, 2023 is still available in the US on Razer's website, it isn't listed in either the UK or Australia, with only the new Razer Blade 2024 available for sale. The Razer Blade 14, 2024 features slightly updated specs in terms of its processor and display, but the NVIDIA GPU is the same. If you can find the Razer Blade 14, 2023 on sale, it's still likely to offer a better value than the current model, especially if it's steeply discounted during a major sales event like Amazon Prime Day or Black Friday. When we reviewed the Razer Blade 14, 2023 last year, it easily topped our best gaming laptop list until it was replaced by the newer model. Today, it can still more than hold its own against the best laptops for gaming on the market. The 2023 model of the Razer Blade 14 remains one of the best laptops you can buy today, thanks to its powerful 8-core AMD Ryzen 9 7940HS CPU, which sports a 5.2 GHz max clock speed, and can come with NVIDIA's latest 4000 series laptop graphics cards, topping out with the RTX 4070, which will handle modern games at high settings with ease. Despite containing such powerful and normally heavy components, it still manages to remain lightweight and thin, a contrast to the much larger laptop models like the 16-inch and 18-inch ones. And not only are the specs themselves impressive, but the overall performance is too. The laptop can get hot during more intensive gaming sessions, but it never once stuttered, slowed down, or froze. Its chassis is simply all black with the logo in green, the distinctive style of Razer products. There's also a white version called Mercury, but unfortunately no quartz from the 2022 model. It's a little over 4 pounds with a thickness of less than 1 inch, which, combined with the 14-inch display, makes it easy to carry around in most medium-sized bags. It's ideal for those who need what might be one of the best gaming laptops to also be one of the best thin and light laptops for traveling. The display is gorgeous, featuring a QHD Plus resolution and a mind-blowingly high refresh rate of 240 Hz, an impressive response time of less than 3 milliseconds, and a 100% DCI-P3 color gamut. Both its keyboard and touchpad are responsive and have a satisfying snap. The keyboard also has customizable RGB lighting. It also sports a solid port selection including 2 USB Type-A ports, 2 USB Type-C ports, an HDMI port, a power port, a Kensington lock, and an audio jack, though unfortunately there's no SD card slot or Ethernet port. Even better is that it has a physical webcam privacy shutter with a mechanical switch, an incredibly rare feature that's more than welcome on the Blade 14. Out of all the laptops that Razer released this generation, this is the most impressive one to me. Being able to produce a high-performance laptop with solid benchmark scores while not compromising on the build quality is no mean feat. The only spec that was a bit disappointing is the battery life. Razer claimed it could last up to 10 to 12 hours, and if going by pure productivity work then it gets close to that with 8 hours of life. However, if you stream movies or play games, that gets cut down to a paltry 4 hours. It does charge quickly at least. Its benchmark results are quite excellent, comparable to plenty of other similar spec laptops on the market like the Lenovo Legion 7i Pro or the Asus ROG Zephyrus M16. It's able to keep pace with machines with better specs in benchmark tests. And for general performance, its frame rate either keeps up with or passes other laptops with better specs. Ventilation isn't too shabby either, as even when it does heat up, the performance never suffers. When it comes to other performance metrics, like frame rate, it also delivers great results. For instance, playing Cyberpunk 2077 on maxed out settings gets you close to 60 frames per second, and I netted similar results for Dirt 5. Total War, Warhammer 3 naturally performed far above that amount in its highest settings. Titles like Marvel's Spider-Man Remastered and Final Fantasy VII Remake also performed well, consistently able to reach 70 frames per second or higher on the highest settings and with both ray tracing and DLSS 3 enabled. Razer laptops tend to be quite expensive, and the Razer Blade 14, 2023, is no exception. Despite it being a 14-inch laptop, it commands a starting price point of £2,399.99/£4,499 which only increases as the GPU improves. With all specs completely maxed out including an RTX 4070 GPU, 32GB of RAM, 1TB of storage, and the Mercury color which costs an extra $400 and defaults to 32GB RAM and RTX 4070. You'll be paying £2,799.99/£5,299 Compared to other laptops with similar builds but larger display sizes like the Samsung Galaxy Book 3 Ultra, you're paying far more money. And other gaming laptops with somewhat similar specs but much larger sizes, like the Lenovo, start around the same price range. Thankfully, this laptop is also available in the UK and Australia, which means no import fees or much higher shipping costs. The Razer Blade 14, 2023, comes in two configurations. The base version is equipped with an NVIDIA GeForce RTX 4060 GPU, 16GB of RAM, and comes in black. The second one has an RTX 4070 GPU, 32GB of RAM, and comes in the color Mercury. Only color, RAM, and GPU can be configured before purchase, and it's based on said color choice you make, with the Mercury version solely having access to the higher specs. Otherwise, it can't be configured by the user after purchase.